Don't you just love it when people spout ignorance as if they were there? I'm going to say that again. Don't you just love it when people spout ignorance as if they were there? This video is about a woman named Kimberly Valla Martinez. She had two parents that were both teachers. She also had a very severe methamphetamines addiction. She also is one of the women who actually did the intelligent thing when a man beat the hell out of her. She was married to Larry Martinez. One day he got methed out of his gourd and did, well, the same thing that many people do when they do that many drugs. He wasn't thinking right and he caved in her eye socket. And what happened from there? Well, she got rid of him. He served hardly any time whatsoever, and then he shot a woman in the head. Thank goodness it wasn't Kimberly Valla Martinez. Now, one thing to know about Kimberly Valla Martinez, in the last 5 years, she has made zero effort to find out what's going on. Zero. But she's got the small town mentality. She lives in Lodgepole, Nebraska, for shit's sake. So today she wanted to type a bunch of ignorance at me and type as if she was there for a bunch of events that she obviously was not there for. And she wanted to be an asshole about it. She wanted to be sidestepping and condescending and so on. So let's read this shit that she's typing here. Let's see, I typed, well, I'm still scrolling up. Wow. She typed, you had a place to live and you destroyed it. You had help and you burned the people helping you. I typed, were you there? Nope. You were judging based on small town BS, not facts. Who are the people helping me that I supposedly burned? She typed, do you seriously need to ask that? Yes, I do. I typed, did you even bother to ask my side before passing judgment? I also typed, yes, I do need to ask it. Obviously, you don't know the facts, but you do know who is slandering my name. She typed, you don't ask anyone else's side. You can't be a drama llama if you accept help. Obviously, you are too immature to understand the facts. So rather than actually address what it is that I'm saying, she goes to, well, this drama llama bullshit and, of course, name calling. I typed to her, and now you are sidestepping. I am asking for your side now, while you are passing judgment. I meant passing judgment, but apparently I didn't type the P. She typed, where are you now? And I will send you help. Send me your address. I typed, instead of being an adult, you are name calling and assuming my guilt. And sidestepping like a line dancer. Really? What help? What do you need an address, or why do you need an address to hear my side? She typed, you are implying to me that you are suicidal and in need of help. Send me your address. This conversation isn't about giving somebody a place to live, it's about stopping somebody from committing suicide. Stop sidestepping the conversation. Your address, please. She also wrote, you have your side of the story posted all over the internet, and YouTube. Not only have I heard your side of the story, I have read about it and seen it on the news. Well, if you seen it on the news, you didn't get the truth. The news didn't care about the truth. They cared about a good story. There's also the fact that I'm not threatening to kill myself. Now, this woman, with her assumptions of my guilt, and obviously, since she's being accusational, she is assuming my guilt. Yeah, that really does make a person not want to live. She posted a suicide awareness thing today. And that suicide awareness thing, my God, after years of her ignoring me and pretending like we're friends, but ignoring me nonetheless, it is her and many of her friends in this area who are the ones who pushed me towards suicide the most. They thought their pretty words would help. You know, there was another post about suicide that probably would have been a better one for her to post up. It's the one where it starts off with the guy who's asking for help. And all these people are giving him advice that isn't going to help his position, isn't going to help his situation. The pretty words, as I call them. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Well, does that stop rape? No, it doesn't. Let's actually come back to reality. Ignore the drama llama, because the drama llama is just more pretty words to make herself feel better by name calling and being insulting. Now, that other suicide post, it was informative. At the very end of the video, the guy explains, hey, none of that is actual help. Now, Kim also typed a big long thing on here that's pretty condescending. So I'm going to copy and paste it. Copy. And then we will go to my page and we will paste it. Blam. It says posting. All right, it's posted. Yay! Anyway, I typed to Kimberly back after she was telling me all this shit. She hasn't heard my side. She hasn't looked at the evidence. She doesn't care about the abuse. She has already decided my guilt. And of course, I have a penis and she has a vagina. So it's socially acceptable. I'm not saying it's right. I am saying that it's socially acceptable. A man cannot be a victim. That is what we teach people here in America. But I typed to her, do you have any idea what I've been through for the last 5 years? And I'm not implying that I am going to commit suicide. I'm saying straight up that you assuming my guilt and not allowing me to defend myself is worse than death. And you aren't the only one doing it. Do you know how many times I have been assaulted just this year alone? The news never told my side, and you might want to try looking at both sides instead of doing things to try to push me to kill myself. She put a thumb up, and I typed, and this here is what shows you aren't interested in helping. She typed, the people back here defending you on the Natalie Bollinger thing. There were quite a few of us, including your mom. We all tried to help you, and the only one possibly you didn't burn is me because I wouldn't allow it. Really? My mom tried to defend me, huh? There's a lot of people in this town who pretended like they tried to defend me, but they just never did. They argued with people on Facebook. That's not defending me. That's not showing up to court. That's not looking at evidence. It's none of those things. Now let's take a look at one of these people from this area who supposedly was defending me. Her name is Cammie Jepson. When Natalie Bollinger was killed, Cammie Jepson was arguing with people on Facebook. When I finally got back to chapel, she told me, "Oh, I was defending you. I was defending you. I was defending you." No, you weren't. You were arguing with a bunch of web sleuths on fucking Facebook. Not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Cammie later got drunk off her ass. She owned a bar here in town that didn't last long because she got drunk and ran off all of her customers. Well, one night I happened to be a customer there. No, I didn't buy alcohol there. I quit drinking in 2001. Cammie decided that she was going to bully the shit out of me. So I decided I was going to leave, which should be allowed. But Cammie wasn't having it. If it weren't for one of her female employees defending me, actually defending me in real life where I needed it, who knows what Cammie would have done. And you know what? She fired that employee for sticking up for me. Now, as far as the Natalie Bollinger thing goes, these people have not bothered to find out the abuse that I have gone through in the last 5 years. You know, there was a lot of people who I thought were friends of mine, who I thought were good people, that showed me that you can't be a good person if you're a coward. People like Laura Nelson, people like Brenda Dickinson. People who said they were going to help and didn't keep their word. And then victimized me for speaking up about it. Pretended like I was a bad person for telling the truth. People love that you're honest until you're honest about them. Do you think Kimberly Valla Martinez is glad that I told the whole world that she was strung out on meth? She, for all I know, because we haven't really had any interaction in the last 5 years, for all I know, she's been sober that entire 5 years. She might be sober. I did my best to help people out the best I could. That includes Kimberly Valla Martinez. I don't know how many hours I spent over at her house trying to help. Trying to help work on the house, get drywall put up, get drywall mud taken care of. And no, I didn't get paid for it. I didn't do it to get paid. Now, there's these people that obviously she listens to these people, but she won't bother to hear my side. She knows that my mom was a drug addict. She knows that my mom was not a good person. Now, there are people that my mom has been very good to. Her own kids, no, except for Michael, who is a child molester. It's fucking gross. And she typed, "We all tried to help you." Really, Kim? When did you try to help me? You didn't even have time to hear what was going on. But I replied to her, "The help you want to give is to have me locked up. I spent 7 months in prison for telling on my predators this year." And then, of course, she's got to type back her ignorance. She typed, "You did not spend 7 months in prison for telling on your predators. That might be what you imagined, but that is not true. See, here's the thing about Kimberly Valla Martinez. She is good friends with my mom. Matter of fact, my mom was friends with most of the drug addicts that we worked with at Cabela's corporate offices when we worked for Jamie Curtis's grandmother, Janet Roberts. Of course, my mom would be friends with the people who have access to the uppers. My mom's drug of choice is cocaine. I typed to her, perhaps instead of typing ignorance, you can pretend to care and hear my side. You are again being condescending and assuming my guilt. I have the paperwork to prove it, but you are small town minded, so rumors mean more than the truth. It's fine though. I'll just tell the story on YouTube. You can decide if I told the truth about you after you watch it. She typed, I did not say you're guilty of anything. Did your side of the story change in the last 5 years? And then, of course, she blocked me. I didn't find that out until I typed this. I typed, and again, you were sidestepping. I've had 5 years worth of abuse in the last 5 years. You didn't hear my side 5 years ago. You won't hear my side now. And you are typing your ignorance as if you were there. You weren't. And guess what? She wasn't. Up until the situation with Natalie Bollinger, no two people had done more to harm me than my parents. I went into the system at 4 years old, not because I was violent, not because I was evil, not because I was a stalker. I was a fucking 4-year-old, for Christ's sake. I went into the system because my mom couldn't stay off of cocaine and my dad couldn't stay off of cocaine, and both of them were tied up in the system because of it. My dad went to prison because he has a penis. My mom went to rehab because she has a vagina. Then she went to rehab again and again and again and again and again. I know the signs because I know my parents. I don't need fake friends, people who are going to assume my guilt and bash me and try to do harmful things to me for trying to defend myself. I don't need those kind of friends. I don't need friends who are going to say, hey, man, if you come here, I'll help you. And then I get there and I spend all of my money there on the things that they want me to spend it on because I'm hoping that they'll keep their word to help. I don't need friends like that. I don't need friends who are going to spend their time getting drunk and streaming. Because then not only are they not helping, they are preventing me from helping myself. I don't need friends like Kimberly Valla Martinez, who can't even take the time to hear my side. I don't need friends like Brenda Dickinson, who are going to lie to me and lie to me and lie to me, and then treat me like shit and try to pity party me. I'm going through actual hell. I am going through actual abuse. I simply do not need friends like that. I don't need friends like Sandy Fromm. I don't need friends who are going to threaten to kill me. I don't need friends who are going to try to hire somebody else to kill me. Those are not friends. Kimberly Valla Martinez is a mother now, so I hope that she's sobered up. I hope. Just because I can't consider her a friend doesn't mean that I don't care about her. But I tell you what, whenever she came to me with a problem, I heard her out. I listened to what she had to say. Obviously, I'm not worth that. Laura Nelson did a lot of really fucked up shit. She really did. Her heart was in the right place. I hear that a lot. Well, their heart was in the right place. No, it wasn't, actually. If Laura Nelson had been a decent person, she'd have told the truth. I told the truth. All of these people who did good things for me, I spoke about the good things that they did for me. But they didn't speak up. And that is the help that I needed. A lot of people did horrible things. I needed help. But I had to deal with supposed friends of mine, like Brenda Dickinson and Laura Nelson. Supposed friends of mine, like Desiree Leonard, who stole all my things. I rescued her from a trap house in Wyoming not once but twice. And she stole my things for it. I don't need friends like that. You burned bridges. You damn right I did. Sometimes it's better to wade through the water than it is to walk across a wood-rotted bridge. Now, there are all these people who promised to help, but just didn't keep their word, just didn't have it in them to be honest. Laura Nelson could have put a stop to a lot of this all the way back in 2017. She could have done something about it before Natalie was killed. She is one of the many people that I went to try to get help stopping this. There's a lot of people I tried to get help from, but you know what? It's a small town. Nobody cares. If you're not one of the pretty people or you don't have a good family name, you don't fucking matter to these people. But did Kimberly Valla Martinez bother to find any of this out? No, she just wanted to blame me. Pretend like I chose to be victimized. Kimberly Valla Martinez, did you choose for Larry Martinez to cave in your eye socket? Did you choose that, Kimberly? You sure as fuck wouldn't like it if I insinuated that you did. You sure as hell wouldn't like it if I insinuated that you deserved it. Then again, that's what she wanted to insinuate. I am not interested in seeing Kimberly Valla Martinez ever. You know, I lived across the street after Natalie died. I lived across the street from Brenda and Dennis Dickinson for over a year without talking to either one of them. They are right across the street. If I was this terrible monster that is out to seek revenge and kill a bunch of people, I have had the opportunity and these people are still not dead. Do you know why? because I am not interested in killing people. I am not interested in revenge. I am interested in change. I am interested in saving lives. And just because somebody is not your idea of a victim doesn't mean that they were not victimized. Just because you want to blame everything in the United States on men does not mean that men are not victimized. Just because you want to pretend that men are the only sexual predators does not mean that people are not predatory towards men. But this is what I got to deal with. Fake people. It's not about evidence. It's about popularity. Kimberly Valla Martinez doesn't care if it's true or not. She's not going to take the time to even hear my side, let alone look at evidence. Her idea of helping me is having me locked up on suicide watch. Literally sending my predators to my house again. Thank goodness I don't have a fucking house, huh? She wants to pretend like all of these people were defending me. No, they were arguing on Facebook. And I have been through 5 years of abuse because they wanted to pretend like the abuse magically stopped when they caught Lopez. Hell no, it didn't stop. You can go to Natalie Bollinger's last public post, and yeah, she slandered the shit out of me. She lied outright repeatedly on there. But at least she admitted we never dated and we never had sex. And that's good. Because in the court dates where I was railroaded because web sleuths were allowed to put shit into my court dates. Web sleuths were allowed to slander my name from other states. And their slander was allowed in court, but the evidence was not. People like Kara Johnson Miles. You can't be a good person if you're a coward. You know what cowards do? When they see their neighbors being abused, they hide like cowards. But then when the people that did that to their neighbors come to get them, they want help. They are owed help. Everybody, look what's happening to me. Sorry, lady, but you ignored your neighbors. You ignored it when it happened to other people. You tried to treat them like it was their fault that they were victimized. That's disgusting. Now, Kimberly Valla Martinez can come on here and see her name and know exactly who this is about. Now, I'm going to go to the side here because the trolls obviously want some attention. Craig Silva typed, you wasn't allowed to go to court? No, Craig Silva, I wasn't. Let's see. He also typed, God damn it, but the message was held for review. I'm going to show it. All right. Anytime it says rich life, this dude has probably 20 or 30 different accounts that he has made to harass me so far. Rich life of Ativan, rich life of, this one says rich life of broke trips. And he typed, Laura Nelson owes me 666 Ativan for telekinesis. And then he typed, please kill me, please kill me, please kill me. And then he typed, I put you in Minecraft, you are a legend. Someone named Gandu typed Natalie was innocent. Natalie was innocent of what, Gandu? Are you saying that she didn't have heroin in her system? Are you saying that she wasn't addicted to these drugs? Are you saying she didn't slander my name? What exactly is it that you are saying Natalie was innocent of? I understand that she was a pretty white girl. She looked innocent. Looked. She looked sweet, didn't she? She looked like the nicest thing on the whole planet, didn't she? Does that make it okay? Because she's a pretty white girl, that makes it okay for her to do the things that she did? No, not even close. I stand up for our rights. If you're not on board with that, you don't deserve your rights. Kimberly Valla Martinez did not deserve to have her eye socket crushed in. She did not deserve that. But guess what? I don't deserve the shit that I'm going through now. You know what eventually happened with her husband, Larry Martinez? He shot a woman in the head. I get that there are a lot of these predatory men out there. Then again, are you taking it out on those predatory men or are you taking it out on innocent people? That's right, you're taking it out on innocent people because they're easy to victimize. The most victimized people in the United States are the homeless. Kimberly Valla Martinez could have found out what was going on and done something about it. Laura Nelson could have come forward with the truth from day one. Brenda Dickinson could have come forward with the truth from day one. Now, I understand that these people are pissed off at me for telling the truth about them, but I am proud of myself for doing so. It is assumed that everybody that I'm talking about and all of the things that they did, many people just assume that I'm the bad guy. Just assume that all of these people are perfect and could do no wrong. That they're made of sugar and spice and everything nice. In reality, gender does not determine whether or not you are a victim or a predator. It is because of people like Kimberly Valla Martinez and Brenda Dickinson and Laura Nelson and Cammie Jepson and a great many other people. People who knew that what was being sold as a narrative was not true, but they didn't come forward where it mattered. These people tell me about how they were defending me. Really, where were you defending me? Did you show up to court? No, you didn't. Not even the ones that said they would, like Laura Nelson and Brenda Dickinson. See, a lot of my predators have gotten in trouble for the things that they did. Not the things they did to me, They got in trouble because they repeatedly did these things to other people. And even after doing it to multiple other people, case in point, Waylon Lolatai assaulted 7 homeless people in 2018. I was the first one he assaulted. There's also the situation he was involved in with Zaid Atkinson. If I had been heard, that never, ever would have gone that far. Waylon Lolatai never would have been able to assault Michelle Rodriguez. He never would have had the chance to assault Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. He never would have assaulted Kelly Clark. Same thing at Clearview. Do you think Kimberly Valla Martinez ever bothered to look at the evidence? Gandu just typed something intelligent here. Gandu typed, I used to think America was just like the movies. It's such a dark place now. I look closer. That's intelligent, Gandu. That is intelligent. There's a lot of people that claim that they were going to help me. Like, well, let me give you an example here. Right before I was arrested, there was a woman named Stephanie Mejia. Stephanie Mejia drove all the way here to help me. And of course, I paid her for it. I gave her money for the gas and everything like that. Even though I'm not rich, I do need help and I'm willing to pay for it. And when she got here, she was extremely helpful. She came to Scotts Bluff. Her and the guy that she brought with her both stayed in my hotel room in Scotts Bluff. And then we tried to get a hold of the Nebraska State Patrol troopie at their office. And we tried to go to Sydney and get my hospital records from the hospital in Sydney. And we tried to make a police report about the situation with, well, that whole situation with Sheriff Scott DaCosta. Stephanie Mejia felt that it would be safer if we were to just leave. So we set it up so that I could go see my friend Ventus, who lives right off of Colfax. Well, we got pulled over. We were already pulled over on the side of the road. I had to pee. And the guy who was our driver, he was on the phone with his family. So we were there for a while. And eventually the cops showed up and they arrested me, said I had warrants, locked me up. When I got out, Stephanie Mejia had gone home. And Ventus told me he had sex with Stephanie. Like, fuck, dude. I don't care who you have sex with. I really don't. It's not my business. You're a grown adult. She's a grown adult. If you're going to have sex, that's your business, not mine. But I was able to get, and Stephanie Mejia wanted to come back anyway. But I spent all the money that I had to try to get her there. I spent every penny that I could send her. And we still had to wait and wait and wait. And finally, she was able to show up. And I was glad that she showed up because finally I had help in person. But here's the thing about sex. It boils people's brains. Stephanie Mejia spent all of her time on Ventus's dick. If not literally, very figuratively. It was difficult to keep her attention because she couldn't keep her mind off of Ventus's dick. And I mean that literally. And when Ventus was talking trash about the guy who showed up with her, well, he was the only one that actually helped. He was the only one who actually, mind you, I got thousands and thousands of pieces of paper need pictures of. He actually took those pictures. My phones were full of evidence. So I couldn't take any more pictures. And thank goodness that Juan Santana is his name. Thank goodness he was there. But then there's the fact that Ventus is seeing Juan as competition. So Ventus is talking trash about Juan the whole time, trying to convince Stephanie just to kick him out and make him walk home. He comes from the East Coast. He's not going to walk home. The way that he was treated was terrible. Meanwhile, Stephanie Mejia, first of all, didn't bother telling her husband that she brought her ex-boyfriend with her. And second of all, she didn't bother to tell her husband that she was cheating on him. She also didn't ask my permission to give her husband my phone number. If she had, I would have told her yes. But she didn't ask. I found out that she gave my phone number to her husband because he made 27 calls to me in a single day. And what did Stephanie say? Ignore him. How am I supposed to ignore him when he's blowing up my phone? Of course, he knew quite a bit. He already knew his wife was cheating on him. He asked me in specifically about 3 o'clock in the morning a couple of days earlier. I'm like, what was happening at 3 in the morning a couple of days ago? Oh, yeah. Ventus and Stephanie Mejia were shagging like rabbits. What did I do about it? I told the truth. Now, don't get me wrong. At first, I was trying not to tell her husband anything. I didn't want to get involved in their bullshit. I didn't want to be the guy to tell her husband that she was cheating. I didn't know what was going on with her situation. She wasn't telling me. She was on Ventus's nuts. And her husband called me over and over and over. I have at least 7 recorded conversations with her husband just from when I was in Denver, Colorado on Colfax back in January. He just kept on calling. Now, she may have had good intentions, but what she actually did was rob me of everything that I had to work with. Whether she did it intentionally or not is arbitrary. Those resources were wasted and they were very much needed. I speak out because someone has to. It's not my fault that Larry punched Kimberly Valla Martinez in the eye. That's not my fault. I had nothing to do with it, and I'm glad that she does not blame me for it. She did something that most women don't do. She left that situation and she was done with it. Just like when I was in Virginia and that situation got as fucked up and abusive as it was in Virginia, I left and I was done with it. Now, how would Kimberly have reacted if Larry, after caving her eye socket in, was sending his friends over to Kimberly's house to harass her and to threaten her and to threaten to kill her and her family? How would Kimberly have reacted? She probably would have called the cops. Because she's a female, they probably would have done something about it. But that's never going to occur to her. That's not something that's going to go through her head. That is not something that she's going to go, oh, well, gee, maybe I should have listened to his side instead of judging him and passing judgment. Every person I speak out about did something fucked up, such as victim shaming. Now I've got 5 years worth of abuse that I got to turn in. But I would have needed somebody like Brenda Dickinson or Laura Nelson to speak up about what they knew. Laura Nelson knew quite a bit and still does. Brenda Dickinson knew quite a bit and still does. But there's also the fact that these folks are mad at me because I told the truth. And as a result, that is incentive for them to lie. I didn't just tell the truth, I told the truth about them. Kimberly Valla Martinez can get on here. She can see her name on the internet at any point in time. If there's something in here that she wants to say is incorrect, she is free to type here. She is free to share her opinions here. And I am free to share mine. I'm also free to block anybody who harasses me. This is my YouTube channel. When Rich Life of Whatever makes another account, I can delete it. And when he makes another one after that, I can delete it. When he adds another one after that, I can delete it. I have done these things for a good long while. And then we got this person calling themselves GG typing about Ativan. See, this is what these guys go to. This is their trolling assholery. And you know what? It proves the mentality that I have to deal with. This isn't just people on the internet harassing me on the internet. I have to worry about people in real life harming me because I was never allowed to defend myself. And you certainly cannot call yourself my friend or even pretend that you tried to help me when you are not willing to hear my side. GG typed, I troll other people too. Well, that doesn't make it any better. Now we have a serial stalker named GG. Gandu typed, too many idiots online and real life. That's right. That's why we're supposed to have a court system. So that situations like this don't happen to innocent people. So that when people are accused of horrible things, they should be allowed to defend themselves. They should be allowed to show evidence. But was I? Most of my evidence I can't even put on YouTube or Facebook because it's got too much personal information. It's got phone numbers and social security numbers and all sorts of shit that is none of y'all's damn business. Also, with as personal as stuff as I have posted up about people, there's a lot more personal stuff. These people stabbed me in the back by not coming forward. They stabbed me in the back by taking advantage of my resources. Brenda Dickinson didn't cost me a bunch of money. She just cost me a bunch of time and she cost me her trust. I cannot trust Brenda Dickinson. Then again, I already knew that. Brenda Dickinson has helped out a lot of people. That doesn't mean that she didn't fuck up. That doesn't mean that she did not do terrible things. After Natalie was killed, Brenda said that she was going to go to court and she would speak up. Then 3 years later, she wanted to say, oh, well, I almost died at the same time that Natalie did, so I couldn't go to court. Lady, you didn't promise to go to court with me when you were dying. You said that you would go to court with me months after you were supposedly dying. And maybe she was dying, maybe she wasn't. The fact is, she still, to this day, could speak up. I don't have nice things to say to these people. I do have some nice things to say about them. Some. I don't forget the good things that you did just because you stabbed me in the back. Let's take a look at some people who just took advantage of me wholeheartedly financially. Ken Wilson and Leah Plunkett took advantage of me financially. How screwed up is that? Then there's that lady who was a longtime friend of mine in Longmont, Tabitha Cook. I spent a lot of money there too. I spent well over $1,500 while I was there, between rent and paying Graham to help me, making sure that they had the supplies that they wanted. Gigi typed, how come you weren't allowed to go to court? Because I was incarcerated. Because I was called mentally ill. When you're called mentally ill, you don't have any rights. Tabitha Michelle Cook, you can look her name up on YouTube or on Facebook. Gigi typed, I'ma sue the whole courthouse, face reveal, Tabitha Cook, familiar name. And that's the reason why I said you can look her up on YouTube or Facebook. I don't think you can look her up on YouTube, but you can definitely look her up on Facebook. These people do actually exist. The crimes committed against me did actually happen. But then again, when you've got people who have already assumed your guilt, they're not your friends. Now, there's people, for example, Sarah Rubiolo Spice. She's one of the people that I helped to find before Natalie was killed. Sarah introduced me to her mother, and I even went to her high school graduation. And I didn't just show up at her graduation, I was invited. A lot of people assumed my guilt, and rather than admit that they were wrong, when they found out that Joseph Michael Lopez killed her, they just went back to the same slander that I had been abused over before, pretending like I couldn't take no for an answer, like I was only there for Natalie's vagina, her vagina. I flipped out. Or these nut jobs who go, oh, well, I understand you were in love with her. No, the fuck I wasn't. Jamie Curtis broke me of falling in love. Ain't no such thing as in love. You either love somebody or you don't. Love has nothing to do with sex at all. And if sex has something to do with the way that you love, you're not loving right. Kimberly Valla Martinez fucked up today. Matter of fact, she fucked up when she decided that she was not willing to hear my side. That shows that she assumed my guilt. That shows that between looking at evidence and believing rumors, it's better to believe rumors. You know, the first time that Robert Warnick chased me down in the street and threatened to kill me, it was over rumors that he had heard. Fuck your rumors. There was a mother who was speaking out about her son who was murdered at a Black Lives Matter rally. The man was pushing his quadriplegic fiance who happened to be black, but this man happened to be white. His name was Garrett Foster. His mom understands a lot more than most of you are ever going to be capable of. Kimberly Valla Martinez could have decided that I was a human being, and therefore it was worth hearing my side rather than judge me and pass judgment, which is what she's done. Well, that ain't no kind of person worth wasting my time on, is it? So why am I making the video? Because that fucking batshit crazy nut job wanted to pretend like I was threatening to kill myself or even attempting to kill myself. Absolutely not. I am trying to get help stopping the abuse. And if you are too cowardly to come forward for whatever reason, you cannot call yourself a good person. I have stood between you and your predators. I have supported you when you were afraid. One of the people who stabbed me in the back, her name is Jerry Sparks. Jerry Sparks and I stopped being friends when I was visiting Natalie in Virginia over a racist post that was posted up by her son. Miss Jerry stopped being friends with me. Lana Ingeline, Amanda Ingeline, of course, Tyler Frericks, and Jennifer Frericks, and Donnie Sparks. Between arguing with racists and blocking them, I chose to block them. I chose to be done with those people. And the only reason I allowed them back into my life is because I needed help after Natalie was killed. And they pulled the same shit they pulled before. You damn right I speak out. Y'all be safe, stay out of trouble. And remember, Gandu typed, you may not be mentally ill, but going through what you have been through would make anyone mad. Good luck to you in the future, Sean. Well, thank you. And thank you for typing that, because that right there is a very good point that I've been trying to make. What I've been through Most of you would have blown your heads off already. A lot of people say, hey, you drove Natalie to have that guy shoot her. Well, you know what? According to the court documents, her boyfriend and her family were the ones who pushed her to that point. That is in the court paperwork, dumbasses. Meanwhile, her and her friends and their harassment resulted in me begging for people to shoot me for over a year before she was killed. She stole my suicide. You goddamn right I speak out. And I will continue to speak out until the day I die.